Hello, welcome, Marlin here. Last week, JJMG Amazon store sponsored a video for me to demonstrate these Russian piping tips, and I did an abbreviated version of the doll cake, and I thought it turned out so well that I wanted to really share an in-depth version of the tutorial so that you guys can execute the project more seamlessly without any issues. And here we go, the step-by-step tutorial. You can make your skirt with a Barbie skirt mold if you want. If you don't have that, this is a 6-inch cake pan, 3 inches high, and then I used a 6-inch ball cake to make that curved part for the top of the skirt. I did not layer my cake since it was already very tall. I just crumb coated it, added a nice base of white icing, and I was ready to go. Usually when making a doll cake, you need a very tall cake because Barbies, conventional Barbies, have very long legs. And so this doll is great for that reason. This is only 9 centimeters from her shoes to her waist. Let's say, yeah, 9 centimeters. So your cake doesn't need to be so tall. The other thing is Barbie has, you know, good size hips. This is just a tiny width here. I'm using actually an apple core to make the hole in the center of the cake here, to be able to pop her in later. And if I just do a test, you see, she fits right in there. And then I'm not going to need a lot here to hide her little kind of opening, you know. So we're ready. I'm just going to get her dress top on before. Here I've rolled out a thin piece of gum paste. I've got a small heart cutter. This is the perfect shape to make a bodice. And now I'm putting some glue on there, edible glue, and just coating it. And let's get the doll turned around. And we're going to just position her bodice here. There. So let's just cut a wide piece here so that it hides her hips a bit. And I'm just going to cut a straight seam for the back, and I'm just going to cut straight across like here. There. Alright, so there she's got her little, and I'm going to just put it like that to create a little. So I'm just going to cover this in that glue and onto our little doll here, creating the little dress top. So just cover her up. And now I've got the doll again. I'm just painting on some of that edible glue all over my gum paste here. Just coat the gum paste. Try not to get it on her body. And now I'm just sprinkling all this in disco dust. And we're just shaking off the excess. And you see she has a nice bedazzled, here let me zoom in. You see the effect we're getting here? A really nice shiny dress top. And once it has time to dry, we'll be able to dust off the body there. But she's done, so we're going to work on her skirt now. Keep her arms up for now. I was inspired for this cake by a show I watched, Say Yes to the Dress. I had seen many skirts with these big ruffly flowers, and these piping tips here kind of reminded me of that. I opted for the tip on the left. I thought it gave more of a kind of feathered effect when you pulled, and that's also seems to be like one of the fashion trends, is these feathers. And so on to the skirt demonstration. I wanted to get a good seam along the bottom there, so I'm not going to have the flowers all the way to the bottom. I'm just having a ruffle at the bottom since It's just easier to meet up with the board. So I'm just creating a ruffle here with the rose tip. So it's just a back and forth motion. There. And if you want, you can just brush it up so that it really connects to the cake and sticks well to the icing. Just like that. And now we'll be able to come in and add our flowers. Here's the piping tip we're using. I thought it was really pretty and would suit kind of a floral wedding dress. Kind of a weird angle to film. I'm going to try. So here, I'm going to turn this. You can see, so I'm squeezing out the icing, letting it touch the cake, pulling away. Now, you see this one was not good. So no panic. All you do is you just kind of lift off. Leave there, and you're just going to pipe on top. So I'm just pulling away. See this one here, not good. Just flattening it out. Now I've got my first row of flowers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stagger now. So right in the middle of the two, I'm adding my next flower. That one's not very nice, so like I say, we just kind of flatten it out and pipe right over it. The icing is getting too hot very quickly. Alright, here I'm trying to get my flowers on, but I had to put my icing back in the fridge. That's what the flower looks like when the icing has gotten too warm to use, so pop your piping bag back in the fridge. And now I've mixed my icing a slightly lighter shade of this color, the delphinium blue, and now I'm coming in between each flower and doing another row. Here she is now. I can pop her in there. Just give her a little press. Here is a close-up of the skirt. You can see the piping tip gives sort of a feathered effect, I find. And yes, it was a little bit tricky. If we melt butter, it becomes liquid. And so with buttercream, the warmer it gets, the more kind of loose, and it doesn't hold the shape of the piping tip. So it's important to have your icing the perfect temperature for these flowers to come out right. So I kept on putting it back and forth in the fridge and out, and then the metal tip was often colder, and so I had to push the icing out of the tip, like that little bit of icing, to then get the correct kind of consistency to be able to pipe. And so in the summer months, if you're a cake decorator, you know it does get a little trickier, but the piping tips worked great. Thanks again to JJMG Amazon store for supporting my channel and sponsoring this video. If you'd like to purchase the piping tips, you'll find the links in the description box. And here are some cupcakes made with that same 12-piece set. You'll find the link to that video in the description box or on this card here, a clickable link. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads, and I'll see you next time.